Okay, my friends, today we are going to go into the true ancient history that has been missed since the Age of Enlightenment, when we became too smart to realize that these people were idiots. Now, here's the problem. They weren't idiots. They documented things that we just overlooked. Now, this is my library right here, basically. Ancient mysteries, all kinds of things. Totally, absolutely well documented. And, over through history. Now, this one's the killer. This is the new Larose Encyclopedia of Mythology. Very, very detailed. And if you get in here where they show all of the pictures. They tell all the stories. Now, back here, you get into where this is Philo's Primitive History, an account of the progress of civilizations and religion. Now, listen to this. The first generation deified the products of the earth. They loved the earth. They considered them to be gods, worshipped them. For from the earth they drew their substance. Give us this day our daily bread. That's where these things came from. They and those who followed them and all those who had been before them, and they made libations and ritual aspersions. They were thankful. When a plant died, there was lamentation, and also at the birth or death of an animal. They were that's what embalmment and all that stuff came from. Now, progress was attributed to Aeon, who discovered edible fruits from the race of Aeon and Protogonos, both sons of Calliope and his wife Calliopeia and his wife Baal. They issued Genos and Genia, who were the first inhabitants of Phoenicia. There was a drought, and they lifted their hands to the sun in the sky, for they considered the sun to be a god and the sole lord of the sky. They named him Belsamin, who to the Phoenician means lord of the sky. To the Greeks was Zeus. The sun was Zeus. The invention of fire was due to mortal offspring of the same race named lights, fire, and flame. They found fire by rubbing sticks of wood together and taught others to do likewise. That's just nothing more than friction. Now listen to this. The important step in civilization was followed by the appearance of giants. All right, once that important step happened, then the giants came. Their names, Cassio, Lebanon, Anabanan, all kinds of crazy names, were given to the mountains over which they ruled. All right, so the giants ruled mountains. It seems these giants must be considered the inventors of burning incense, for all these mountains were renowned for their fragrant woods. In the meanwhile, men's morals had become so licentious that children took the name of their mothers, for women in these days would give themselves to the first comer. Now, and then it comes down to about Herodotus down here. You really got to do some work to understand this, because I'm telling you, there is a lot to understand. But all of this stuff has substance, it has meaning, it has... It might be our eternal consequences. What is this I got highlighted here? Dedicated to both Quetzalcoatl and the plumed serpent. All this stuff was real. It was real. It's very, very... Well, anyway. Now, did you know that the pyramids were built on top of what looks to me like tree stumps? Now, a lot of people call these tree stumps, and they may have thought they were tree stumps back then, and they might be tree stumps. I don't know. But I can tell you what, I've looked at the pyramids pretty close, and I believe they were built on the feet of giants. And I think they all collected over here in the flood and were drowned over here, and that was the remnants of them, and they used those limestone legs, literally, and they break flat as a pancake. I've shown this over and over and over, and I will again, there's no question. But this is Babylon, Egypt. And here's the pyramids. If you can't see that, I don't know what. And it looks to me like the Sphinx. They took the body of a god, because the head of the Sphinx is real. I don't care what anybody says. I looked at it very carefully. There's nobody that can stand up in front of me and say, you're wrong, Roger, I'm right because of this, this, and this. No, they never say that. Not one single time. Zero. They say, you're an idiot, go away. Well, I know who the idiots are. And you will see too. And where do you see the maps? The maps are the things. And the ancient texts. But I can't read these things. Where do you see this next map? It's going to blow your mind right out of your head. All right, this map is from 1375, and it shows the known world. And it was done by this guy right here. Musafa, or I believe something like that. I can't read any of this stuff, but I can tell you what. You see these little, like, castle-looking things? They're everywhere, and it appears that everybody had one. You know, they're everywhere on. They're everywhere. They're just everywhere, and it appears that everybody had a certain region, and they ran it as a little kingdom of their own. Now, what I want you to show you here, and I can't give you this map, and I can't get it. It's like 25 megabytes or something. But if anybody can read this, I would love to have somebody interpret this. But look at this. You see all down, this is all the Mediterranean Sea and all that, and all the way over to China and everything. And I mean, it's very detailed. And it proves a lot of the stuff I've been saying about mud fossils, and about the giants, and about the dragon, which is, let me just show you something. This is going to blow your mind. It blew my mind. Let's just start right here. This is where the dragon is, and it runs all the way out to Morocco. And that is where I said Atlantis was, way over here. And this, let's take a look at it, because right there is where the dragon ends. It goes all the way across the top of North Africa. And that looks like a dragon to me. Not only that, it has a cut right across its throat right there. Now, I can't see what this says. I don't know what they did. Maybe it says it cut his throat. I have no idea. But all of these things, you see, and it's detailed. That's why I had to get such a big, a lot of data to get this quality of print. And I can't read it. But I can tell you what. To me, that's the dragon, and that is Atlantis. Now, I've always shown Atlantis being right out there in that section of, and I'll be showing it again in a moment, because I'm going to show you the dragon, I'm going to show you Atlantis, and they're showing the boats approaching Atlantis. And these were the little kingdoms and there were a bunch of little islands around Atlantis, I can show you that, which were very close to looking like Atlantis. And they might have had their own little kingdoms. And then, I don't know what this is all about over here either. But this was heavily, heavily, heavily populated. And see, this guy ruled over all this area, apparently. And then another one came on up here, they took over. Now, this is all the known world, and there's all kinds of references to this and that. And this might be giants down here, I don't know. But you see, here's a kingdom. They have them all over the place. Some of them had little gold stars on them. Some of them had black flags. There's so much to look at here, and we probably will look at it. Look at this. This guy owned all this stuff. Somebody did. Running straight up that whole section. Now, I showed you the dragon. I showed you what I believe is Atlantis. This, my friends, there was no Suez Canal back then, but this big red strip, I believe, is the vagina. I showed this the other day. Now, somebody found this before me. I had no clue about that. I was looking for the source of the Nile, which they still have not found. I found it, which is, it's a kidney, literally a kidney, and this is literally a vagina, and they're showing it in a big red strip. You know, what can I tell you? Usually they're, you know, sort of pink. You know, it's, what can I say? I don't know. Maybe they talk about it here. I don't know what they say here. I don't know what that's all about, but it's kind of unusual. All this stuff is unusual. And now, where do you see? I'm going to go through this map in great detail, and somehow we have to make this available for everybody to be able to download and look at. Because there's things on here. Look, why did they make this in gold and all these little swirly things? That must have some reference to something. Either they're just islands, and they want to reference them in that manner. I don't know. I have no. And look at England. I mean, this got to be something going on here. This is the only purple spot on the whole thing. Now, what that means, I have no idea. But there's a lot that was known here that. This is back in the 1300s. This guy was some special king over here. When they show a big hot shot, something's talking about this guy, and he's got all kind of gold things going on around. Now this guy's another big hot shot. Lollybella, I don't know. They might have all of the, you know, but these are the top dogs in the area. It looks like to me. Now what all these things mean down here, I have no idea what all these little jewel-looking things are. But maybe somebody can make heads or tails out of the text. I have no idea. But it certainly is intriguing. You know, obviously it's upside down. But anyway, I have other maps here. Oh, wait, do you see this one? Icelandia. These are the beasts. Look at this. Look at these beasts. Now, and I'm telling you, you know, you laugh, but the things I have found lend support to a lot of this stuff. I'm not saying it's all true, but I'm not saying it's fake either. I'm saying we missed a lot of everything. And they had, you know, here's the deal. You say, well, how come you don't see them every day now? Well, you know, they were monsters, and they were killed. I would, in my mind, I'm sure, if I had a bunch of monsters living around me, you know, I probably wouldn't think a whole lot about killing them, especially back when they're just like all everywhere. You know, I mean, you got to be realistic. You know, I try to think of myself as a, you know, fairly nice person. I had one time in my life, it was nothing but me. But now I think, what would I do in this circumstance if I was surrounded by things like this? I'd kill them. I mean, you know, be realistic. You know, I wouldn't stop somebody else from doing it. Let's put it that way. Absolutely amazing. Iceland. This was in, I don't know, it's 1385, I think. Incredible what you can learn from looking back at what was written, and I do. I go back to the original story. Hesiod was the guy you want to look up. Hesiod, Hesiod, and he was given the wisdom of our origins. And when I start to look back, everything that was written by him, and Ovid, and Hesiod, Herodotus, and all of the other guys that I'm showing there, they weren't just writing children's stories. We've become enlightened to something that just really made us absolutely blind and deaf to what was told to us. So Greg hopefully will be going around and doing the study of what the living native indigenous peoples have to report about what was told to them about their cultures. Because it was true. It was all true. As far as I'm concerned right now, they lived there thousands and thousands and thousands of years and know because their, excuse me, their ancestors knew that this would all be laughed at. And even, it's all written, Hermes and Thoth and the top, they knew this. They were back before everything. They said there'll come a time they'll laugh at you, they'll call you, they'll spit on you, they'll think you're an idiot, and they will use you and laugh at you, and will lose everything. And that's why the gods got disgusted, the good ones, and they left us. And when they left the bad ones down here. They're here somewhere. That's what they said. And I'm going by what was being written and what was being said. And the gods got pissed off. They left. They said, these people are out of control. They're no good. Let's get out of here. And then at one time they flooded it and tried to kill everything that the out of control people created. And then they came back and then they went back out of control again. That's what I'm seeing. And then they literally sent God. It sounds like to me, Jesus Christ, in my mind right now, I think he was God. The God of our universe, a God of our solar system, the God of our area. Because there's obviously, he said, let him make us in our image. There's other gods. He was the top God. Now, was he was obviously much more powerful than the other gods because he imprisoned them for doing what they shouldn't do. They were sub-gods that say, here's your purpose, go down there, watch over these people, make sure they do the right stuff. These guys are going to have bad intentions. You have to guide them. And when I show you, hold on one second, I'll show you. All right, I'm just going to show you the first minute or two of this. Truth be told. I'm going to put this up shortly. Okay, my friends, Roger once again, Mudfossil University. As you know, we have a crew going on now that's getting worldwide, and they're starting to get some acceptance of the understanding of our true reality, which is part of our learning experience. And so the native cultures, the indigenous peoples, that have lived on the same properties for thousands of years know the stories. And since the age of enlightenment, when we decided these guys, they're crazy, the stories they're telling are insane, and literally they are. That's the key. All right, I want you to come up and watch. It's going to be called Truth Be Told. And these guys, this tells how they make their children understand their history and then transition them into becoming productive citizens in the society. Not conditioning them to believe every little word they say, but saying, this is our ancient history, this is our past, take it or leave it. And this is how we live our life. And this is what we consider to be a productive individual and is doing the right things in life, leading to a better fourth life, because there's 4 worlds. We're in the 3rd world right now. It's called the yellow world. And it's the world of existence, of emotion, of learning. It literally, I'm telling you, wait till you hear this guy. And every one of them says the same thing. The Gnostics were the ones I have come to feel were the ones that are bringing us the knowledge. And all of that stuff was found, the Nile Hammadi, the Dead Sea Scrolls, all of that stuff after we nuked Japan, and and the Jews were slaughtered, and all of that stuff happened. Something there was a coalescence of I don't know what you call it, prophecy, events that were foretold, whatever it is. They slaughtered the Jews. The Jews got their homeland. All these texts were unveiled that literally changed history. And now we're beginning to look back at our ancient facts, and mud fossils is a huge part of this. Well, without mud fossils, none of this would even have started to be even considered. In my mind, I never considered it. And I just and I did get a message, just like these people got messages. I got a message to go out in the woods and look, and I did. And I'm not kidding you. That's exactly. I woke up one morning. I said to my wife, I said, I did something in the woods calling my name. And that's my exact words. I went out, and before long, I had found giant human beings. I knew what they were, and I eventually had them DNA tested and CAT scanned and certified in every single way. And they're rejected. And that's another thing that was written. They said, when you come with the truth, they're going to push you, and they're going to push you hard, and they do, and they push real hard. And it's been 10 years of being pushed, and that's just the way it's said. And Jesus said, and when he wrote, he said, I don't want you to believe one thing or another. I don't care what you believe. Let's go with that. I am presenting to you what Jesus said. He said, you bring stuff out, you're going to lose your family, you're going to lose your friends, you're going to lose everybody. That's exactly what happened to me. Now, everything I've read, and then it talks about the teachers. It says the teachers they're going to be false teachers. They're going to make tales up that you're going to have to accept, and you're going to have to recite, and they're going to lead you astray because they now own you. And it said they're going to, and their destruction does not sleep. It's literally exactly what it says. And that's about teachers. And that's what I've been trying to make them understand. You have to stop just assuming that what somebody told you is absolute fact, because they don't have any facts whatsoever. I'm presenting the facts. I'm presenting the material evidence. I'm presenting everything that is undeniable is being denied. So we know what the agenda is. Now it's up to you to make up your own mind. I don't care what you do, but I know what I want to do. I want to find that fourth world that this guy's talking about. Okay, my friends, I have shown this dozens and dozens of times, and I am literally the only one, and anyone is welcome to use any of my research, anything. Just take it, use it. I don't care. Don't represent me as saying anything about anything other than what I present. And I do research in space and from the space station and Mars and all that. And it annoys me that people attack me for doing that kind of research. It's what I do, all right? Please don't attack me for this. Now, this is the dragon I found. Here it is right here. There's a dragon's head. Watch my cursor, see it? Follow his head all the way around, and there's his neck runs down, all that flashy stuff. This is his throat. All right, I'm not going to get too deep into this because I've shown this literally probably 100 times. And it just bounces off. It just like bounces off and it goes nowhere. This is a gigantic dragon, and I show this, or I have shown it, or I will show it, in the maps. It shows it. And then it shows Atlantis down below. And I'm going to tell you something that was just the strangest thing that happened to me. Now don't forget, this dragon goes all the way across. And it shows it as one big long piece, and then it flares out at the end. Well, guess what? It does flare out at the end. There's the dragon's flare. That's the flare from the dragon. And if you follow it back right to here, see, this is the flare that comes out. Right here is his tail. This is where the tail ends. Well, not ends. It goes into the flashy, fluty looking stuff. That flare at the end. But that's the draining off of the dead dragon body, which runs the entire north of Africa. Now, it was attacking this gigantic fish right here. It's a gigantic fish. And if you look at it, you can see this whole thing was apparently covered with water, and it drained out and ran off the fish with, there's a little swale in that fish's tail, a swale in the tail, and it ran over there, and everything ran out into the Atlantic Ocean, over the top of Atlantis. And this is what I said, I would show you Atlantis, and I believe that's Atlantis in that same map. And the reason I say it's Atlantis is because the damn thing looks as close to the description of Atlantis as you can get. And I said there's other little Atlantis-looking things out here. You see that? There's another one there. And there's other ones you can see around that look like, there's another one looking thing like there. There's things that look like they might have also been inhabited at one time before this whole area collapsed. And Plato said they mined everything there was from underneath of it. And then one day the whole thing just collapsed. You see these little, which would have been protectorates of Atlantis for the incoming things. Now, there was a straits right here, which Plato mentions, and nobody's ever been speaking about. And you can see the runoff ran right off here. The whole thing ran out here and ran down into the Atlantic Ocean. And Plato said they will never speak of mud again. There was so much mud ran out here. And this appeared to be a huge ocean. Now, this is where that big red strip was in the map. I mean, what can I say about that? I was looking for the source of the Nile, which is all the way out here. And you can see it. It's literally a kidney. And it runs up through here, and this is the urethra. And if you look at it real carefully, which I have a video about it that shows it here. I don't know if I can find it real quick, but you can see, you see that? That's not... Who could think that that's just accidental? This is the problem. They don't look at any of this stuff with a critical eye. Oh, yeah, that's just accidental runoff. That's just erosion. That's just this and that. No, it is not. Absolutely not. This is chemistry. This is biology. This is transpiration of transitions of biological things. The Earth is a biological product, and it is likely Mother Earth.